where the truth is hard to come by. There's that one guy, just a guy with a thought. World Premiere. World Premiere. Peoples of the worldwide federated internets. What is good? I like going online sometimes, seeing what different people have to say about different subjects, different topics, random things. I follow people. Watches are my thing, so I follow, some watch pages, some watch YouTubers, the Urban Gentry, if you like watches. Now I'm talking about real watches with real history. Doesn't have to be expensive. If you watch the Urban Gentry, you'll see what I'm talking about. I follow comic book channels, Comicstorian, Comics Explain, different political channels, history channels. I follow a lot of different things. I hear people sometimes get onto the internet. They berate the internet and berate social media. Now, I will say that social media can definitely be used for some negative. I mean, we definitely see that. We see that in the toxicity of some comments, right? We see that in how people believe they can just talk however they want to people because it's online. You'll never see that person, so you think. What happens when you do see that person? See, that's something that nobody thinks about. You might think it's sweet with a lot of people online, but you see them in person, it might be different. That's something that a lot of these young people need to consider when they're talking reckless. But there is a growing, I wouldn't call it a fad, but a growing sentiment that all social media is all bad. There's a lot of bad on it. But I remember when the internet was just taking off. This is crazy. I'm about to date myself. When I was in, ninth grade, the internet was just barely here. It was still dial-up. Not everybody had a home computer. It wasn't something that just everybody had. My friend, my boy Jamel across the street, he had a computer in his house and he had the internet, but this wasn't something that everybody had. It was like seeing a gold bullion. You walked into somebody's house and you saw a computer and they had the internet. It was like, oh, snap. The internet didn't really start taking off, blowing up. I want to say around 2000, 2001 and beyond. That's when I'm trying to remember when I got my first high-speed internet connection. That might have been like in 2003. I can't remember. But the internet started taking off. And you had people that had their things to say about the internet. It's terrible. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Now, just like anything, you're always going to have people that use something with bad intentions, with a bad purpose, that use an item for evil. I like shooting. To those of you who are gun owners, it is a lot of fun to go to the range and shoot. A lot of fun. Guns are interesting devices, right? There's those of us that actually love shooting, right? And then there's people who want guns just to hurt people. Doesn't mean the gun necessarily itself is bad, right? You can go on the internet, you can do research. You can go on the internet and you can find information that you can't get anywhere else. You can buy things that'll come right to your door, but you can also go to the internet and you can find anything illicit that you can think of, from things that are legal, that are probably not good for you, to things that are illegal. You can find that all on the internet. That doesn't mean the internet itself is bad. See, that's the thing. And I have to stop myself from doing this because I've done it as well. And overconsumption of the internet, yeah, it could be a bad thing. You got to break away. You got to do something else. Read a book. Listen to a podcast. Write. Go outside. Go for a walk. do something different. So overconsumption of anything could really be a bad thing. But the internet was seen as this terrible thing. But the internet has brought some great things. Yeah, there's terrible things on the internet. The problem is, not the problem, the thing is, you're always going to have people who use something good for something not so good, for something illegal, for something that's just not good for you. You always have that. Food. There's foods that are natural, foods that are great, foods that'll do wonders for your body, and meals that'll do wonders for your body. And then you have things like cheesecakes, not the best for you, probably not the best for you to consume or overconsume, but I love me some cheesecake. I love cookies and I love candies. Candy is not the best use of whatever natural ingredients are in candy. There are some candies that are natural. You can buy organic candies, but overconsumption of those candies is still not good for you. It's a bunch of sugar. That doesn't mean food is bad. Social media. I see a lot of people getting on social media. Oh, it's trash. It's trash. And I was on that train. I was on that train for a while, but I will tell you what I realized. Just like anything else, social media can be used for good and social media can be used for bad. I've interacted with a lot of people. I've had conversations with people that I would have never met. I feel like in some ways I've connected with a larger number of people than I would have been able to connect with outside of social media, just living, your normal life, going about traveling every now and again. It's a big world and you can connect with a lot of people. You can talk from where I'm sitting. I could talk to somebody in Australia, somebody in Germany, somebody in Africa. That's pretty dope. You can share ideas. You can debate with people who have different ideas. This is a good thing. Not everything on social media is bad. Now, I do understand that there's a lot of toxicity on social media. I get it. You can use it for something else. You don't have to use it that way. If you're going to complain about something, either have an idea for a solution or enact a solution, or don't complain. I'm learning that myself. Like I said, I was on that complaining about social media train. Oh, it's trash. Oh, it's this and oh, it's that. And the one thing this quarantine has done, at least for me, I don't know about the rest of you guys, is I have done a lot of research. I've done some studying. And I've connected with a lot of people that I would have probably never connected with. And I've seen a lot of things, right? I've learned some good things. I've read some great articles. I've interacted with people on social media. But the one thing that all of this brought about is I said, you know what? My oldest daughter always tells me, Dad, you need to have a podcast, because I'm a talker. It is what it is. I'm a talker. And when I'm with my kids, I talk to my kids a lot, whether it be text, whether it be on a phone, in person, we talk. And when I talk, my kids will tell you, I'll go into a deep conversation and they'll be like, all right, Dad, it wasn't that serious. I like talking. So I said, you know what? How about I share some of my ideas with the rest of the world? I'm sure there's people who won't like anything I have to say. And there'll be some people that say, you know what? I like what this dude is saying. That's the beauty of social media. You can share ideas. If there's something on social media you don't like, I view this exactly how I view television. Don't watch. Don't listen. Don't go to the page. Don't subscribe. Don't follow. It's really that simple. You really don't have to see anything you don't want to see. Now, granted, some things are going to pop up. It happens. But for the most part, you can filter what you see. This is something I realized. So I said, why complain about it? Follow pages I like, about things that I like, interact with people. And my solution was, well, you know what? I'm going to contribute to the discussion on the internet versus complaining about social media. Anyway, small thought for the day. Nothing serious. You know what it is. Stay frosty, people.